Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm It's Robbie Rhino, and today's video is a celebration. I've reached 200 subscribers on this channel, which is something I never thought I'd ever do, let alone do it so quickly. So in order for me to say thanks, I think a massive giveaway is in order. Well, as big a giveaway as I'm able to do at the moment. And the hoping is that this is going to push my channel on, to the next goals of 250, 300, and so on and so forth, as well as thanking all of you guys who have liked, have commented, have subbed and shared. It's really much appreciated. I really enjoy doing the videos. I'm going to be carrying on for as long as I'm able to, and as long as the game lasts, I'm sure. In today's video, I'm going to be later on looking at the Ram 2, which is a tank you can earn in the Kinetic Fury season. But let's have a little look at what you can win during this giveaway. So we have two Progetto 46 Tier 8 Premium Italian medium tanks to give away, two T-3488 Tier 6 Premium Soviet medium tanks to give away, 6 weeks of premium time, and 3 lots of 3 days of premium time. This giveaway will be starting as this video goes out, and it will be lasting until the Tuesday the 30th of November, and the prizes will be credited in the first week of December. It might take a little longer, but yeah, about first week or second week of December. Yeah, and good luck to everyone who enters. And how do you enter? Well, to enter you need to be subscribed. Of course, it's up to you what you do after you subscribe after this giveaway. I understand that content's not for everyone, but I think that I try and put out something for Cold War, for World War II, for new players and for veteran players. So I really hope you enjoy the content, and I hope you stick around. The instructions will be in the pinned comment of this video of how to give away, and the announcement will be made back on this video in the pinned comment on the 30th of November, as well as my Twitter, which is linked in the description. So let's head into the look at the Ram 2, which you can earn during the Kinetic Fury season. Thank you very much. So now let's have a look at the Ram 2, which is a Tier 5 American Premium medium tank, and you can earn this in the Kinetic Fury season, which is currently going on. Hasn't got too long left, but it's a level 60 reward, and you can earn this for free. So if you haven't got it, I highly recommend it, and if you have got it, you'll get the silver equivalent, which is a nice little bonus. I'm just going to run down the statistics of the tank while you watch the gameplay in the background on Fisherman's Bay. The first replay on Fisherman's Bay, I am top tier. Second replay, I'll be mid tier, and third replay, I will be bottom tier. So you'll see how it copes with all kinds of matchmaking. So this tank, 55% extra silver per battle, and 45% extra XP per battle, which is nice. Hit points wise, 610, which is kind of just above average for tier 5 medium tanks, especially unless you're playing something like the Panzer 5.4, which has like 800, 810, which is just broken OP, but compared to the rest of them, yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty healthy. Top speed of 38 kilometers an hour, which it isn't bad, is it? It is quite slow, and you do feel that you get up to the top speed quite quickly, because the power to weight ratio is like 16, but you just can't get any quicker unless you use the what do you call it, the advanced powertrain or the speed equipment. But yeah, let's get on to the interesting fun bit that I find of this tank, which is the gun. It's a little pew 6-pounder gun that fires 26.62 rounds a minute, which is, yeah, very fast. As you'll see in the background, you're just popping shots off, and we finish that Su-85 video very quickly. It has a 2.2 second base reload, which I've got down to 1.7 seconds. Alpha damage 75. Penetration on its standard is low at 105, but its APCR is fairly decent at 170, so I carry plenty of ammunition, plenty of APCR ammunition, should I say, when you come across sort of heavy tanks equal tier, and tier 6 and tier 7. Gun handling wise, 2.2 seconds base aim time, which is nice, but be aware that you will sometimes be loaded before you fully aimed, so you're going to have to sort of either wait, or you're going to have to just sort of fire when it's kind of like 3/4 aim, if that makes sense. Accuracy is poor at 0.443 base, but I've got that down to about 0.38. It's still quite derpy, but it's manageable, and I advise kind of trying to play this tank kind of as a sort of support medium, not like sniping because of the gun handling. Get up close and then you'll be able to pump rounds into the sides and rear of your enemy. 8 degrees of gun depression, so very, very nice, very, very useful on a lot of the maps, and 20 degrees of elevation, which is very nice. Armour wise, it's nothing really to say about the armour. Don't rely on it. It's got 50mm in the lower plate and 76mm on the upper hull and turret. If you sort of angle it's all the extreme angles, and if you're using the gun depression, you can get your upper hull and turret to about, it's between 100 and 180mm of effective armour, so you will bounce occasionally. Yeah, just don't rely on it. It's not something that it's like a trademark of the tank, but it's useful enough to sometimes bounce a shell and keep you in the game. Equipment wise, I use optics, advanced loader, improved ventilation, and my commander skills are Sixth Sense, Born Leader, rapid loading, steady aim, rapid aim, snapshot, run and gun, situational awareness, and camouflage expertise, which is a kind of standard medium tank setup that I'd use if you're a new player, or many tanks actually throughout the game at most of the tiers. You're sort of enhancing your camo, your view range, your gun handling, a little bit of everything, which is kind of what this tank is. It's kind of a little bit of everything, very useful sort of support tank on the battlefield, and quite fun. Haven't played tier 5, but I found this quite fun to play. So in this game on Fisherman's Bay, we've assisted in 548 damage and picked up 1349 of our own. Had a fairly decent impact. I felt quite confident to do that push there. Be wary, you know, there are tanks, even at this tier, that will sort of take off half to 3/4 of your health. Even one-shot you, I believe. But as you can see, you can have good games nonetheless if you sort of try and use your hit points to the best of your ability. Master Badge Ace Tanker, high caliber there, 5 kills, 1498 direct damage, and 669 assistance damage. And we're going to hop into the second replay where we're mid-tier and see how this tank gets on, so I'll see you there in a bit. So we're now on the second replay on Calnus, and we're mid-tier, so let's see how this tank performs mid-tier. So like I said in the first replay, I found this tank when I first got it to be quite underwhelming because of the gun, and it's a bit of a contradiction to what I said that, you know, it's a very fun gun, but that's because I know how to kind of use the gun better now. Maybe not the best, I'm maybe not the best player in this tank, but I know how to use the gun a lot better. So before, I had a tendency to sit out in front of opponents because you have that great DPM, that great sort of rate of fire. You have a tendency, or you have a yearning to sort of sit out and just get that extra shell, get that extra couple shells, and just sitting there for that extra couple of seconds can lead to your demise very, very quickly. And I found that 610 hit points didn't go very far at all, even though they are quite good for this tier. I was getting 1 or 2 shot, you know, when you're coming up against tier 6 and 7 tanks, and it wasn't very fun. But I found the best kind of playstyle is you're either supporting and you're flanking it in sort of medium close quarters, using heavies as a distraction and coming on the sides and rear of your enemies and just unloading as quick as possible. With this gun, even though obviously it's going to be hard to track people because of the low caliber of the gun, if you just keep firing at the tracks, you can keep people tracked, and that's a great sort of tactic to use where you can help support your heavies. Sniping, it's not the best because of the accuracy, but you can soon rack up the damage. 75, you know, sometimes people get hit with 75 alpha damage, they're thinking, oh, that's nothing, and they'll sit out for a little bit too long. But, you know, 75, 150, you know, it all racks up very, very quickly as you fire the consecutive shells. So I think the best way to play this is a support, sort of medium range. You can play this close if you have heavy support, and you can snipe. It's kind of a bit of an all-rounder. It's weakest kind of sniping, I would say, just because of the alpha damage and the accuracy. It's hard to get the shells in, and this is a horrific start, I think, to this game. I'm just struggling with the gun depression here. I'm trying to get shots on this, so I might tank to get light tanks out of the game. As we always say, or as I always say in my videos, light tanks are so powerful, and especially late in the game. So we managed to get a shell in finally after did run about for absolutely ages there on that ridge line. Luckily we didn't get hit by the artillery, and now we're going to push up to this ridge. Fortunately we don't get shot by those tanks. There's T-150 there. If he's using the big gun, that could have been half my hit points gone in one go. But I have a fairly aggressive playstyle anyway usually, and I'm just going to try and push the tempo and try and support this light tank. I noticed that he has 3 marks, so he must be a fairly decent player. And there's a Panzer 5-4 going in for a ram, but unfortunately T-34 finishes the Panzer 3-4 off before the Panzer 5-4 can get in. And I don't know where that shot went. I must either be ghosting the shells or just aiming horrifically. Let me know in the comments. Probably aiming horrifically there. It does get a lot better though, I promise. And just by pushing up and sort of being in this position, we are keeping the Cheery next to me proxy spotted, and I'm getting the assistance for it. So you don't always have to do the damage to have the games. You can do the assistance as well, and you can finish tanks off because of your quick rate of fire. And I'm just going to support this light tank. He's taking a shot. I'm going to try and get over. Kind of a bit of a kill still there because of the gun depression, but I'm trying to help my friendly out. I wasn't just trying to get the kills, I promise. Honest. But yeah, we're going to turn around now. We've picked up 212 damage and 152. Nothing spectacular, but we're just supporting our team. We're going to the positions, trying to kind of almost Wolfpack players in a tank like this. You want to use tanks that distract the enemy, like a light tank that's circling an enemy and just pump shots in when they're not looking. I mean, there's a Sturmer Mill with that can have a massive gun, and there's a Jagdpanther, which I'm going to struggle to pen with the AP, so I'm on APCR. But he is angled, obviously he's like higher than me, so if I'm hitting his upper plate, it's going to be hard for me to actually get a shot in. So I'm playing a bit of a risky game here, but I'm just going to push while they're undetected up to the next sort of rock and push the tempo a little bit more. They've got TDs looking at the hill in case they come over, and I've noticed this 3001H. As you can see there, the bloom on this reticle there is quite big. But we managed to get 2 shots in on the move. Even though I was on the move, I was still sort of aiming, if that makes sense, trying to get the shells going where I want to. And now I'm firing at this Stuig 33B. And you can see just how quickly you get the shells. Like if they miss a shot, you get 3 or 4 sometimes, or even more than that, for one of their shells. And we finish that tank off, and we're 2 tanks in the lead, and we got 861 damage. So I'm a bit wary of these TDs, but I'm just going to try and push the sort of ridge lines, use the combat rations here, trying to get the view range out. That Sturmer Mill has brilliant gun depression, but I feel like he pushed over, he'd just get wrecked by my team. So I'm pushing over this gap. I know there's a heavy to my left, and I'm getting sort of shells coming, so I'm going to use this rock as cover for a moment. Hopefully the artillery isn't looking at me, just keeping an eye on the TDs. And yeah, I'm just getting shots in when I can, using the view range that I have enhanced with my equipment and my commander skills, and when I have a chance I'm putting shot after shot after shot into an enemy. I think because of the rapid rate of fire, some players maybe miss a shot and they panic a little bit. They kind of don't know whether to wait and get another shot in or move back, and before they've sort of thought about it, because of the high rate of fire you've managed to finish them off. So it's quite a fun tank for this tier. I play horrifically in this game, but now, as I was saying, I'm unspotted. There you go, I'm trying to get the shells out as quick as possible. I'm not sure whether I should wait and aim longer or just carry on going, but I'm just going to keep firing when it's kind of like half aimed, 3/4 of aimed. Yeah. And that Tiger one lost quite a few hit points there in that exchange, and I'm sticking the APCR. I can afford it. At that distance I was going to struggle because of the penetration drop off. But I'm just going to try and get shots into this Tiger as he's crossing, and you just see how dangerous this tank is when you're just firing and firing and firing. It's not going to be for everyone. I'm kind of usually like the that was a great snipe there. I kind of usually like alpha damage, mobility, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's fun and it's decent for this tier, and it can be very powerful if you play it well. I'll come up behind the TDs now. I stir a mill. I don't think he should the top gun. He bounces off me. I'm trying to track him. It's not working, but he fluffs a shot into the ridge line, and that means it's 3 shots for me. And when enemies miss, you have that time to sort of dump your clips in, and with the combat rations there, we got our reload down to 1.6 seconds for every shell. Yeah, and it's very fun. Go and pew pew pew. We finish MVP on that game. We finish with 1712 damage, I can't remember what assistance we did. I believe it was something in the region of 300, 400, something like that, and we get 5 kills. I didn't actually get to the next screen because my father came round with a package for me. But yeah, that was another good game, and we're going to hop into the next game now, which is where we're bottom tier, and see what we can do and see how we can use our tank to help our team take down the enemy. So see you there in a bit. So now we're on the third and final replay of this video, and we're here on one of my favourite maps, Malinovka. We are unfortunately bottom tier in this game, but that's not going to stop us. When I first got this tank, I struggled being bottom tier because I felt like I wasn't competitive in pretty much every aspect. People, you know, that have tier 6 and 7 tanks had higher view range than me. They had higher penetration, higher alpha damage, more maneuverability. But that's before I knew how to kind of impact the game, whatever tier you are, basically. And I'm going to try and talk you through my thought process going for this through this game. So on this map, in a medium tank, regardless of kind of whether I'm bottom, mid, or top tier, I like to go to sort of the D6 kind of location, try and support that mid ridge, and try and see tanks that are going up the zero line towards the hill, because I feel like I'm safe with that little ridge line in front of me from tanks across on that zero line, and I'm also kind of safe. I can duck down behind the ridge line if tanks are to my right, sort of going towards the south of the map. I get spotted there, which is like it's not surprising because this tank hasn't got great camo, hasn't got great view range compared to tier 6 and 7 tanks, or most of them anyway, and I'm just going to keep moving because there's artillery in play and I don't want to get hit. And one shot, 610 hit points is good for tier 5, but you will get 1 or 2 shot by tanks, and you will get probably 1 shot by most artilleries that hit you, you know, if they directly hit you. So I'm just going to stay around this ridgeline and see what my tanks to the north have spotted on the hill. Our mediums have got there first. It looks like we've sent a lot of our tanks obviously down that one line. The enemies have kind of sat back, a lot of them, on that zero line, about sort of DE0, because our mediums got there so quickly. They've been halted, which is great. We're kind of, if we win in the south, we're going to be in like circling around them, which is fantastic. And I just want to say about patience, and I was a little bit not worried, but a little bit unsure whether to put this replay up, because it's a good game for a tier 5 and a tier 7 match. It's not phenomenal, but yeah, I think sometimes it's good to show the games that aren't, you know, absolutely tremendous, because you're not going to have them all the time. A lot of the time you're going to have sort of average kind of games, and this is one of them. But it's an average game in terms of personal damage, but in terms of the team, we're going to help our team, spoiler alert, take out the victory. So we're just going to be using this position to try and help get some vision out, be a little bit of a distraction, and that's one tactic that you can use when you're bottom tier. You don't have to do direct damage to be influential in the battle. You can spot for your team, you can proxy spot for your team, so that means getting within 50 meters and you'll instantly spot the enemy team, just as we avoid that artillery there. And just be a bit of a nuisance, and that allows your mid and top tiers to do their thing and hopefully push the tempo in the battle. And don't be worried, like now I'm, you know, 3 minutes into the battle, I haven't got a shot of damage off, and I'm thinking, like, for God's sake, I just want to get a shot off. Like, if I die now, this is going to be really poor, it's going to look really bad, and I used to worry about statistics and all that kind of thing, which I don't really worry about anymore at all. But yeah, there's a good thing to say about patience in a tank like this. If you help your team at the beginning of the battle get good locations, spot tanks, then you are going to be able to get closer to your opponents at the end of the battle, get the sides and the rear of your enemy, and you're going to flank them, and you're going to be able to use your DPM. Of course, if you die early in the battle getting frustrated, then you're not in the battle, you're not going to have a good game regardless. So yeah, I'm just floating around the middle now. I'm trying to keep moving because of the artillery. I feel safe towards like the south, sort of south-east. I don't feel like our tanks have got that area on lockdown. Oh god, flashbacks, don't say lockdown. Yeah, and I notice now that we've lost the hill, our medium tank unfortunately is gone, so I just want to move back, because if they poke over the ridge, I haven't got too many tanks that are going to support me. So I'm just going to move back a couple of ridges. We outspot that T-34 there in the middle, that's crossing. I'm just going to get to a position where I can defend them pushing down from the hill, and just yeah, as you can see, use my tank to spot out some enemies to get damage in when they cross. I'm just trying now to get my trying to communicate using the map and the pinging to try and get my artillery to fall back a little bit into the sort of A1 area where you can get like below a ridge and there's some foliage there and you can stay hidden if you're an artillery or a tank destroyer. Unfortunately we take a shot from the sort of hill area, so I had to fall back another ridge, and I've sort of enhanced my combat rations now, just trying to get some view range out. This is kind of one of the reasons why I thought it was, I wasn't sure if to put this replay up, is because it's a little bit slow, going, but I think it just shows what kind of things that you have to do in a tank like this. You're going to pick this up for free and think, you know, top tier, this is so much fun, I'm just going to burst damage, and bottom tier people will sort of almost give up straight away. But as you can see, just by waiting, we've allowed our team to sort of dominate the game, and now we've got opportunities to put our damage out. And as you can see what I'm doing, I'm firing 1 or 2 shots, and I'm just moving back ever so slightly. It does affect the bloom and the aim of the tank, but that Chiri is blind firing my shells, and he's not hitting any of them, and now he's given up and turned, and now we have shots into the side of the rear of his tank. And he gets distracted and gets shut down by the T-20, and that's what, you know, I was saying about patience. Now we picked up nearly 1,000 damage, 972. We've taken out another tank, a top tier tank, and just being the distraction and being a nuisance. And we're on 125 hit points, and we've still managed to influence the game, and that's something that you've just got to do. And now this tier 7, I believe, Caro P88 is coming across and doesn't spot us. We get a couple of shots in, we push our damage over 1,000 with 300 assistance damage, and now I'm kind of wanting to sort of push up and get round the back of this Caro P88, but I know that he's just going to turn around and one-shot me. He's got as good, if not probably better, I think, ability than me. But I'm just going to go for it now. He seems to, he's fired at the tank to the left, and I was trying to track him there, get some more assistance. But now I'm just going to use the ruins here to sort of go up. I'm going to try and track him again, I believe, or no, not even going to do that. I'm just going to try and get on the rear of the Caro P88, but it looks like our tank just sat in front of him, the 3001H, which is a little bit unfortunate. And now I'm in a position where I'm playing Ring Around the Rosie with this Italian tank, but as you can see by proxy spotting him, I am getting the assistance. I'm just going to use the third person camera to see where he's aiming. He's aiming around me. I'm just going to fall back and get in the assistance, and we get one more shot into his side. I was hoping to track him there. Because we dragged him out, he wanted to come around, he saw that he could one-shot us. He overexposed, and he lost a little bit more hit points. And we're still picking up the assistance because of that, even after we have died in this battle. As you can see, now we're up to, I think it's 1,200 assistance damage, and that's the battle won. So that's, I hope you know what I'm getting at there, about sort of using your positioning and your view range to help your team, not just the direct damage, and waiting until the right moment to unload. And we managed to finish third place, 1,100 direct damage and 1,200 assistance damage. So that's it for this video. I hope you managed to pick up this tank. It's an extremely fun tank, I think, if you're a new player, and you know, it's nice to have a tank like this for free. Don't forget the giveaway that is going alongside this video to celebrate the 200 subscriber mark. Information will be at the start of this video and the description of this video. Good luck. Thanks everyone for supporting the channel. I hope you are all having a really good week, and I will see you on the battlefield. Bye for now.